on its way up. Haywood Hale Broun met one bonus star last year, went back to see him this past week.
Youth sometimes seems awkward through not knowing its own strength. But the eye of the baseball scout sees through the maze of aberrant motion to the beauty beneath. And last year in Ruston, Louisiana, baseball men swirled around James Rodney Richard like lobbyists around a legislator. In baseball's free agent draft, he was second choice in the nation. Bonused by the Houston Astros, and was everything wonderful rolled into one in the close-knit world of a country school, before setting out for the loose-knit, lonely world of the minors.
In the days of Ring Lardner's rookies, the click of pool balls marked the rhythm of the days in the baseball bushes. And the winds of change, which have expanded the bonuses and shrunk the minors, haven't shortened the hours while one waits for the call to the big leagues.
Get that English.
It is not only James Rodney's pitching style which has changed in a year, but his lifestyle as well. And the agreeably assured youth in dashiki and afro haircut hardly can remember the shy boy who was just beginning to wonder what all that strength could buy. A cellar club and a series of injuries have kept James Rodney from setting the Florida State League on fire. But when he is going well, flames seem to dart from the stitches of his pitches, even though when 6 feet 8 inches of power point a little offline, the flames are too hot to hold. Pitches like this show James Rodney's problem in harnessing the lightning, but he studies hard and learns fast.
James Rodney has a tremendous amount of ability, and it's just a matter of time as far as we're concerned between Class D ball in Cocoa, Florida and the major leagues in Houston. He's got the velocity and he's got a good breaking ball, and he needs to get him over a little more. But just like time will heal all his wounds, and he'll learn to throw an off-speed pitch, and it'll make his fastball much more effective.
But any time you follow to your right, that means that you're not following through. You let the butter roll that way, you're not following through.
Manager Tony Pacheco, as careful as a Dutch diamond cutter with a royal stone, taps at the facets of his charge's style.
He loves the game, he thinks seriously about it, and he's very easy to coach. So I think James is going to be an outstanding pitcher in the big league.
Well, now, of course, with a record like 3-11, which he is at this moment, doesn't that look as if he couldn't make it?
I don't think a record had nothing to do. To start with, we have a poor club this year. Our defense has been bad, and our hitting also has been bad. So there is no support at all for Richard or any other pitcher.
Learning in the minor leagues involves picking up survival techniques along with professional pointers, and the rootless life of the young ball players calls for lots of do-it-yourself. The hand that bends the path of a baseball gently beats flour into chicken parts, as James Rodney and roommate Mike Easler sit down to a dinner they try to make like those at home.
Christ our Lord, amen.
An observant neighbor in the apartment building is the first step to a fan club, and he gets some inside stuff to relay to future members.
I'm gonna throw hard, you know, if they get hit, you know, they got in the way, you know.
I'm sure they won't be hit if you just concentrate on what you're doing.
Ruston, Louisiana is more than miles away from the laughter on the Lido life of a beach resort. And whatever the wild waves are saying, it hasn't much interest for a young man who remembers happy times in a green valley and looks forward with confidence to the good life of the winning pitcher.
Beginning of high school, you know, I heard that my senior year, I heard that, you know, some fellas got signed out of high school. So I considered, you know, that they must be pretty good. But then, you know, after the years rolled by, I became pretty good, and I got signed, and a nice bonus and everything, and I'm satisfied. And I consider baseball as a wonderful sport. Houston organization, a nice, very nice organization.
But are there things that you don't like? Do you get homesick?
Yes, very. Especially the cooking, you know, and the good times, you know, everybody go to the movie, you know, together and have fun, drive in, go out and eat, you know, and I'm always messing around playing ball, you know, in the field and everything. I really miss the family, you know.
You must have changed. It can't help but change between the last year of high school and now. What do you think has most changed in you?
My pride, baseball period, become, you know, more thinking. It's more thinking than just play, you know, and hit the ball. It's more thinking, scientific, you know. It's just better. It's better all around, you know. Different environment made me change a whole lot.
The locker room of the Cocoa Astros hasn't caught up with the Roman bath look of the backstage areas of modern stadia, but for every faded uniform left over from last season in Houston, there is a daydream of a great season next year in Houston, or for the most modest, a great season in '72. For James Rodney Richard, 10 pounds heavier and an inch taller than in his Ruston days, the great year seems a fair prediction to the baseball men who chose him in the draft and who held their breaths this summer when line drives hospitalized him on one occasion and split his pitching fingers on another. Suddenly, the many thousands Houston paid for James Rodney's future fluttered close to the windowsill. Artistically, injuries to an arm which starts with the shoulder muscles of a hunting leopard and ends in the fingers of a concert pianist are as terrifying as a mud flood in Florence. And this work of art is rubbed as though it were just mended Ming. This is Haywood Hale Broun in Cocoa, Florida.
In the Little League Baseball Championships today, Wayne, New Jersey defeated